In the 20th century, hundreds of different kinds of animals have disappeared from the wild. This is the story of one of them. Curiosity killed the dwarf caribou. But not the curiosity of the caribou, but our not-so-innocent curiosity. Nor did satisfaction bring it back. It was destined to be the hapless victim of an academic debate over whether the creature existed at all. The Dawson'S dwarf caribou was a miniature form of the woodland caribou, a New World reindeer. It was the smallest known form of reindeer, possibly a relic, in a unique habitat. The Queen Charlotte Islands are Canada's most westerly outpost and provided an unusual habitat for caribou. They lived in barren swamps. The only firm land was densely wooded, and humidity reached exceptional levels. This was hardly typical habitat for caribou. It raised naturalists' suspicions of whether Dawson's caribou really existed. Compared to other species, such as this woodland caribou, Dawson's caribou was tiny. It measured only 84 centimeters to the shoulder and 135 centimeters in length. But generally it looked much like other caribou, pale blonde beige in color, with a mane on the underside of the neck. It also had shaggy whitish hair beneath the belly, tail and hooves. Unlike these caribou, the dwarf caribou's natural existence had depended on a fragile balancing act. It had adapted by evolving a miniature form. This and relatively small numbers ensured that it would not outgrow its natural habitat until Europeans arrived. Before this, the coastal region had been the domain of native Indians. All they required from nature came from the sea, so they had no need to travel inland from the coast. European trappers and hunters encouraged the Haida Indians to venture into the interior of the islands to trap animals for the fur trade. It was then that reports of the dwarf caribou began to excite attention. In 1880, Alexander Mackenzie, a trader for the Hudson Bay Company, offered a reward for any specimen. A Haida trapped and killed a cow and a bull with bear dogs. Mackenzie sent a fragment of the bull's skull with part of the antler to the government archive in Victoria. In 1900, Dawson's caribou was named a new species and given its Latin name. This was only the beginning of the debate, however. Many established naturalists dismissed the evidence, refusing to accept that the creature really existed. A missionary on the island who had eaten dried meat from the animal shot for Mackenzie was far less skeptical. He spoke the Haida language and in 1901 set off with 5 natives in search of the caribou. They found abundant tracks, dung and caribou hair, but saw no animals. For 6 more years the quest went on, but the dwarf caribou disappeared in the mists. Eventually, on November 1st, 1908, hunters found the last survivors, 2 bulls, a cow and a calf. The animals showed no fear and stood quite still. One by one, except for the calf, they were shot. The dwarf caribou had been discovered at last. At the same time, it was made extinct. They didn't shoot the calf, but without its parents, it died soon after.